Having owned a ZL-1 Camaro myself, the one thing I can assure you is that it's one of the most exhilarating cars that you'd ever have the opportunity to be around. Just the way the engine fires off, the way it sounds, it truly is unique. It's not like anything you really probably are used to hearing. It literally, when it fires up, you hear the power, you hear the compression kicking in the motor with aluminum block, aluminum heads. It sounds like you have paint cans trying to find their way out of a metal box. I mean, it's pretty radical. Quite impressive cars, no doubt. I really don't care what kind of cars you're into. If you have a ZL-1 in your collection, then you have something that, regardless of a lot of different factors, a very, very, very limited number of people in this world have the opportunity to have. So you're definitely one of a very small group of people that are very, very lucky. So in summary, when we talk about a 1969 Camaro ZL-1, we're talking about a car that's an extremely high caliber collector car. It really is at the pinnacle or at the top of every major muscle car collector short list of cars that they have to own or have to have. When you factor into that, this car being a late car number 63, last of the production, it's a more heavily optioned car. That makes it a little bit more desirable. When you factor in the fact that it's one of 3 cars that are verified to have the original motors and then backed by an M22 4-speed, and then on top of that, it's got all the certifications from Jerry MacNeish, it's my belief that you're going to be very, very, very hard pressed to find a ZL-1 better than this ZL-1. ZL-1 number 63 was purchased by Milton Robson in the 80s, and Milton was establishing probably at the time was considered to be one of the most premier muscle car collections in the world. So he would go through and he would hand pick out some of the absolute best cars that he felt were significant or worth having to represent the muscle car era. Milton grabbed this car and he had the car completely restored under his ownership. It is restored back to its original hugger orange color and black standard interior. He went through the car completely just to make sure it was exactly how it was delivered from the factory. The current owner purchased it from Milton Robson, and very soon after purchasing the car had located the original block and went through the process of having that redone and rebuilt. Actually, we had the dyno sheets prior to the installation into the car where the motor dynoed 543 horsepower. So not only is it the original block, but it's also in excellent mechanical condition. So being one of the final 19 cars produced or ordered by the individual dealers, this car actually is number 63. It is equipped with a few more options that than you would see on the first 50 cars or the early cars that were built. For instance, for exterior wise, you'll see the front and rear spoilers, which you don't see in the early cars, but the later cars, a lot of the dealers, they took that option because it's a very attractive option. It still came with the ZL2 steel cowl induction hood, like all ZL1s came with, and also the 14x7 steel wheels. The transmission in this car is the M22 4-speed, which was one of the only 2 options for transmission, the other being the column shift turbo 400 hydro automatic transmission. So being an M22 4-speed car, that makes it pretty unique and a little more desirable to a lot of people. All ZL1s came with a 410 rear differential, so that's pretty much standard. This car also has console gauges, which is a pretty neat option to have in one of these cars, something you usually only see in the more highly equipped, Z28s or Rally Sports, Super Sport Camaros. So ZL-1 number 63 is being auctioned, no reserve, at the Houston Classic, April 23rd at Lake Conroe, Texas. If you have any questions about ZL-1 number 63 that I can answer for you, please don't hesitate to call. My name is Mike McCullough with Worldwide Auctioneers.